You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com. Welcome back. 9:12 on this Friday morning. Dr. Kristi Lemley, how are we doing today?
I'm doing well. How about yourself, CJ?
Well, I'm doing great. I just want to point out to the audience, this is the first time that somebody that had the title of doctor said, you don't have to call me doctor. I love it. You're awesome. I just think this is great. So, Living in the Light Ministries, fill me in on this. Is this, I know a little bit about it just from my research, kind of just the other day, but Ablaze is a really great opportunity for folks to really be a part of something bigger than themselves. And now with this launching, I mean, there's events popping up all the time.
There are, and we're very excited. I've been in ministry since 2003.
Oh, wow.
That's when I incorporated Living in the Light Ministries. I've been ordained as an evangelist since 2009. Mm-hmm. And the Lord just put it on my heart. I also owned a counseling practice.
Oh, wow.
And so for 20-some years, I recently sold it so I could travel full-time internationally, locally, nationally, preaching the gospel, telling people that there is hope. Mm-hmm. And so my heart really is for the community, to reach people who are hurting, to help ignite people just to love Jesus more and to find the answers to life's questions.
Right. Well, how did you get involved in ministry in 2003? Were you always someone that was religious, or was this something that found you?
Well, I grew up Lutheran.
Okay.
And I would take walks at night, CJ, going, God, there's got to be more. There has to be more than just the daily grind of constantly going to work, yep, waking up the next morning and doing it again. And so I just really started reading the Bible and started praying, like, Lord, if there is more, show me. And he did. And my whole life radically transformed. I mean, I used to be the life of the party. I used to be a big partier and felt that happiness could be found in things and activities. Mm-hmm. And I had some things happen in my past also that were kind of difficult. And so I just needed to find healing in my heart from situations that happened in my life, but also just carrying the shame and guilt.
Yeah.
That I carried for things that I did, regrets that I had. And when I just kept seeking the Lord and just praying, the Lord removed that heaviness of shame and guilt. And then it was like, I have to tell everybody that that is possible.
Well, and how difficult was it for you to start telling people that? You know, because to me, I totally understand it, because, you know, you always, there's something else out there and you're battling your tribulations, you know, and you're trying to keep your faith is the most important. And then now you're feeling comfortable, everything's coming together. Was it difficult for you to spread that message afterwards? Were there some hesitations or some hangups, or did you hit the ground running?
Well, I think both.
Okay.
I think I hit the ground running, but at the same time, initially there were kind of hesitations like, will people see me differently?
Yeah.
Will people, you know, when they hear my story that I was on the road to becoming an alcoholic? I wasn't yet, mm-hmm, but I was on that road if the Lord wouldn't had intervened in my life. And so that part, you know, can be a little difficult sharing with people who don't really know me at first, but there is hope.
Yeah.
And with Ablaze that we are doing, we're in 6 counties. We've done 3. Now we're going to Greene County, Jersey County, and Madison County. And our message really just is of hope. So we're trying to draw in individuals who may be struggling with depression, fear, anxiety, marital issues, addictions. Like, we've seen people come to the services who are in active addiction, and the Lord delivers them.
Wow. And what's that feeling like when you see that happening? You know, because I could only imagine, you know, the first time you experience that, you know, it's one you'll never forget. You know,
absolutely. I mean, it's life altering. There is such a peace, CJ, and a joy that happens. And the weight of the world is lifted. Like, even people who may not be in addictions, it's just the everyday life, the heaviness of life, medical conditions, family problems, the stress of parenting, and all the things out there right now. It is just such a powerful thing to feel the heaviness lift.
Well, and now take me through how Ablaze came together. together? How did this organization form? Was this something that was a thought-out process that was kind of years in the making, or was this a decision that was, kind of, hey, this is a great idea, let's do it?
It has been in the year in the making.
That's what I bet.
I've been praying over it, and then I took it to my leadership and said, I have this. I feel like that this is something I'd like to do. And they are the ones, I thought maybe I'd do one county or two counties.
Yeah.
And my leadership, Pastor Phil Schneider, was like, I would like you to do 6 counties this year. And I was like, oh my goodness. But it's very exciting because I pastor with local pastors and local churches. And so the whole service in itself is opened by a pastor. Actually, the mayor is going to be opening the service at the Alton Amphitheater.
Oh, really cool.
Yes. And we have local teams do worship, local church teams do worship, and then we have a testimony of somebody whose life has been transformed. And then I preach the gospel, and then we have a time for prayer at the end for people who need that individual prayer.
Yeah.
But we also have a separate prayer tent that people can go to at any point during the service and just say, hey, I need prayer now.
How many individuals have you encountered that are really just not really, maybe battling addiction, maybe they just don't know what's going on, maybe they're just lost, and not, maybe lost, spiritually, but just lost in general, where it's like you said, you're working and, you get up and you put the hat on the next day and you do it again, you take it off, you do it again. How many folks just come just to feel connection?
A lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, because not everybody who comes has a major life crisis going on. They're individuals who maybe just want more out of life. Or they're weary or tired. I mean, the grind of life. Right? And so people are just coming because they just want to encounter God. And that's the Ablaze slogan. Ablaze, encounter the presence of God. And when people come onto the presence where we're doing the services, they're like, I just feel so much peace. Like, I feel something here. I feel something alive here.
Well, and take me through. Now, is the first one coming up? We already had one?
We already did 3.
Oh, 3? Where have I been? So you've definitely you're halfway to your number and then some.
We are.
Wow.
We are. So we're excited. The first 3,
Whoa.
we have seen people who have come with back pain. Because one of the things we do is we also pray for physical healing. And we have seen people come with back pain and leave with no pain. Now, I'm not saying they were physically healed, but they had improvements.
Yeah.
And so they came with pain and left without pain because we believe in the power of prayer. And so we pray for physical healing. We pray for those who are struggling with fear, depression, maybe even anger or feeling bitter. And people have left feeling free and not feeling the heaviness of that. And then others have come and they have just been re-energized. And the weariness and the heaviness of life has broken off. And now they have so much more joy and are just excited for life again.
Well, and now take me through this. I'm on Ablaze.global, which is on the bottom of the screen for y'all to follow along with at home. And I see that there are not 1, 2, or 3, but there are 5 more opportunities to come and be a part of this. That's where I got distracted. I was like, wait a minute, 6 and you already did 3. What was the first event like? Because I know that's nerve-wracking regardless of how much experience you have. And what was that couple of minutes like when you're first, getting the event underway?
It was pretty surreal, CJ. It was like walking out. We did the first one in Greenville for Bond County at the fairgrounds, and we had 120-some people show up.
Wow.
And for me, it was very surreal. It was like something I prayed for. And I'd been praying for every person who comes, they've already been prayed for. That they would have an encounter with God because God sees them. And for me, that was a very pivotal thing of knowing that God gives us hopes and dreams, and he wants to see those fulfilled.
Yeah.
And so to see, we had 4 baptisms because we had a baptismal available, which we don't have one in every county. But it was just powerful to see people recognize that there is hope.
Yeah. Well, and that's the most important thing right now. I mean, you turn on the television, no matter what news channel you watch, you need a lot of hope right now. And not even just that, but, the way that the world's going, wherever, one's moving at lightning speed, your kids are moving even faster now, and all the sports are moving faster, and work is, and how do you manage all of that and manage your stress and sanity at the same time? what a wonderful opportunity. Now, is this open to any denomination of religion? Can, Catholics come, Baptists, the whole 9 yards?
Anybody can come. And that's the beauty of Ablaze, is it's completely free, open to everybody. We've had people who didn't even believe in Jesus, who came and just wanted to check it out. It is open to everybody. And in Jersey, we're next in Greene County and Carrollton. And then in Jersey County, we're going to be in Jerseyville and Grafton. And then in Madison County, because it's larger with more people, we're going to be in Edwardsville, Granite City, and then we end the whole summer at the Alton Amphitheater.
So let's talk about this. Coming up on Sunday, July the 14th, is the next opportunity for you to be a part of Ablaze, the free countywide event. Bring your own lawn chair.
Yes.
And this is July the 14th at 6 p.m. Free hot dogs, chips, and water before the service. It's at the Greene County Courthouse. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes.
Oh, I was getting nervous. I normally botch one of these, and that's at 519 North Main Street in Carrollton Square. That's a beautiful spot. That is have you been up there?
Yes.
It's so
we
beautiful.
have.
So beautiful. And now take me through what is being offered throughout the service. How does it start? What's it kind of look like?
Okay, what it kind of looks like is it begins with a local pastor opening up the service, just welcoming people, praying over the whole event, just kind of inviting people to join into the process. And then there's live worship.
Okay.
We have a local worship band usually that will be playing and singing songs that are more contemporary. And so we have about 3 or 4, maybe 15, 20 minutes of just singing and worship. And then we have somebody who shares a testimony, their life story about what happened in their life, either when they invited the Lord into their heart or when they just continued to pray and seek the Lord and walked out a difficult time. Because the Lord can instantly deliver and heal, and sometimes it's a process. And so we have somebody who just shares what the Lord did in their life.
Well, and I think that's a really important notion, is to have those testimonials, because I know, and we've all been in that path where, even though we might not want to admit it, for some of us, where we're looking up and going, why now? What did I do? I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on. And it might not be a disastrous, event that happened, but just a series of kind of just stressful scenarios that lead to people just feeling kind of drowned, and to hear any testimonial, whether it's, it was a year-long process. I prayed for 10 years and I finally got an answer to, I was praying, and then all of a sudden, right when I was praying, something happened and I connected with it. That's great for anybody to hear.
It is. And a lot of times, CJ, we feel like we are alone. Nobody will understand. I'm struggling. And if people know I'm struggling, then what are they going to think about me?
Yeah.
And so the whole process is just to recognize that we believe Jesus is the answer to life's problems. And I don't want to say kind of proving it, but proving it.
Yeah.
And saying, well, here's how he intervened in my life. And people need to know, especially because of COVID and because of just the way the world is, people are very isolated. And it's an opportunity to come together and to recognize nobody battles alone, that there are people who care about them. And bigger than that, to know that there's a God who sees them and sees right where they are and their struggle. So then after the testimony, I share a story from the Bible.
Okay. Does it have to do with the testimony, or is it just one that you pick?
It's one that I usually feel led to share about.
Okay.
Sometimes it's similar, but sometimes it's completely different because there's a lot of different people there with different issues, but God sees them all. And then at the end, we offer prayer for individuals. We offer if people hear the message and they're like, you know what? I want to give Jesus a try. I've tried everything else. I've tried on my own. So why not try this?
Yeah.
We have prayer for them there. And the beautiful part is that there are local pastors at the altar. I'm the one who does the preaching. My ministry might be the one who's organizing this, but the answer is the local church and getting people connected to a body of believers. And so that's why it's my heart to have local pastors there. That they can meet in that moment. And if they're not plugged into a church, then they can find one.
I really like that component of it. I mean, I really do. That, I think, is for me, the best part of this is it's not well, just follow us, along to X, Y, and Z, which is great if you do. Please, come and support that. But you aren't saying, all right, now grab onto the caravan here and we're just going to take you with us. Connecting to those local churches, creating their own local community, because the church community is one of the strongest in any township or region. And that's so important. And just connecting them. What have the pastors thought? And just the first 3 that you've done with having those conversations, maybe with folks they've never even met before that want to go to their church.
It's been beautiful.
Yeah.
One of the things that happened is there was a guy in active addiction who gave his heart to Jesus, and he was talking with a local pastor, but he actually lived in a city of another local pastor that was present. Mm-hmm. And so he introduced him to the other pastor. The other pastor was able to baptize him. And now I went and visited that church a couple weeks ago, and actually last weekend. And that gentleman that gave his heart to Jesus is now involved in that local church.
That's wonderful.
That is the beauty of it. Because CJ, Dr. Kristi Lemley is not the answer.
Right.
Jesus is.
Right.
And so I don't want it to ever be about me. That's why you don't find my name on any of the posters, flyers, on the website. It's not about me because I'm not the answer. I have the answer, which I believe is Jesus.
Right.
But it's not me.
Honestly, this is really cool because just the way that you go about it, really keeping to that message is so important because honestly, Kristi, I'll be honest with you, I Googled you and I'm like, all right, no, where's her Ablaze? Is she a part of it? What is Ablaze? Because there's no Dr. Kristi Lemley anywhere. It's just Ablaze. There is hope and it has the details. And that's what's important because you aren't deterring from the mission and the message. And that is what so many people do so many times, maybe inadvertently doing it or inadvertently doing it. But you aren't, and that's awesome.
No, they can find out on our website. It says who we are.
Yeah.
Then you can kind of see who's involved that way under who we are.
Yeah.
But I don't want it to be about me because I think nowadays we have too many celebrities in the Christian world.
We got a lot. And how do you feel about it? Because to me, and I'm raised Catholic and all, and I think it's, great if you want to, share people your faith and how wonderful it's been for you and maybe even doing some prayer stuff. But I always get a little bit of a hang up whenever someone's profiting on it too, and that's kind of where I'm at with the celebrities. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that.
Well, again, it should be all about Jesus.
Yep.
And we should point people to him and not ourselves. I am not a self-promoter. I don't like that. No. And so for me, I just love Jesus. And CJ, if you had the cure to childhood cancer, would you keep it secret?
No.
And so if we believe Jesus is the answer, we shouldn't keep it secret.
Absolutely not.
And so for me, it's all about lifting him up and his name and who he is and his character and not mine.
Well, and now take me through some of the leadership team, if you could, for Ablaze. Who can we meet at some of these upcoming events?
Well, hopefully a whole bunch of local pastors.
Yeah, that too. Do they show up to some of the local events, though, part of the Ablaze team?
Part of the Ablaze team. We have the coordinator of Ablaze, which is Lisa Matheny. We have our security team, which is headed by 2 wonderful gentlemen, Butch McGill and Mike Lieberger. We also have an information booth where people can go to and find out more about the local churches who are partnering with us. And Lori Palmer does that. We have our music coordinator who kind of works with our sound system and the local teams, and he also does the altar time, and that's Rodney Palmer. We also have parking assistants, which is my husband, Craig. we have local prayer teams, and we also have my prayer team that prays for Living in the Light Ministries. That really is the Ablaze Encounter the Presence of God is under Living in the Light Ministries.
Yes.
So I have my own Living in the Light Ministry prayer team, but we also have prayer teams for each county.
Wonderful.
That are praying for their own county, praying for their own cities.
Yeah.
So yes.
That's really huge, though. And I was just scrolling down, though, and I'm on the website now, ablaze.global. And actually, here, we'll go together so you guys can see. I was just going down and seeing some of the leadership team and just scrolling through. But also, folks, click on the homepage, and then you'll see that Hope is available. You can see a video of some of the events that have taken place. And then plus, at the bottom, I saw it eventually. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a video. That's a 30-second video that just says who should come and what is it about.
Yeah, and then coming up, too, details for all the upcoming shows or upcoming events where you can go starting July 14th. And Carrollton Square is beautiful. I love Carrollton. I just think it's a great spot. Then you guys are moving.
We are. we are.
Oh, my gosh.
CJ, at the end of June, we did 6 services in 10 days. My poor team was exhausted. I was exhausted because we set up and tear down for each one of these.
Yeah.
And so that should tell people something, that if people are willing to give up their summer.
Yeah, literally give up. You are.
We are. We're giving up our summer to tell people that there's hope.
How many have you had the individual yet that's just kind of cold? You know what I'm saying? Where
Absolutely.
they kind of come in and they're just, nothing's going to change at all. Take me through if you had an experience with someone who really just had every hang up and every kind of just throw it to the wind mentality. Have you seen some deliverance there?
We have. There's a lady that came that was a heroin addict for 10 years. I got to pray with her at the altar. And so after I speak, then I say, if you want to come up for prayer, come to the altar. And she came to the altar and she said, I was a heroin addict for 10 years. I got clean. But then I started drinking alcohol. And she said, Kristi, I have this pattern where I can be clean for a year or two, but then I always relapse back. And in that moment, I just felt the Lord say, ask her what's in her past. And so I just looked at her, and as a counselor too, I get this.
100%.
And I just felt in my heart from the Lord, just, ask her about her past. And so I said, what happened to you in your past that you haven't let go of or it's not healed? And she just looked at me and she shared a little bit. And I'm like, okay, but I feel like there's more.
Yep.
And so she shared, and so I said, are you ready to give it all to the Lord and ask him to come in and heal that wound in your heart? And she said, yes. And so we prayed, and she looked at me and she just raised her hands and she said, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. I praise you. And she looked at me and she said, I feel completely lighter. Like, I don't know really what happened, but I feel lighter. And she said, who would have thought me coming to a service like this could change my life?
And I'm sure there's so many testimonials just like hers. And, to me, though, we always talk about going out and helping somebody. And, helping isn't really giving somebody a sandwich and $20 because you filmed them giving them the money, how some of these influencers do now. It's putting on a service and keeping your doors open. Because if the doors are open, they're going to be led to you eventually, And I think that goes so much further into just helping the community, because I'm sure, even though not everything, you might not have been, even if it was, it might be cured and everything's great and we're moving forward and hitting the ground running. Even if it's not, even if it's just 60%. She's going to go home and use those tools that you guys just worked on and trust the power of prayer and having those spiritual feelings. And all of a sudden, her life's completely changed.
Yes. And that's the point of us doing them outside of a church.
Yeah.
Yes, we've been ridiculed. We've had people say things. But my heart really is getting to where the people are.
Yep.
Outside of the church walls.
Yep. Because they're scary for some people.
They are. And I recognize that and I realize that. I mean, getting my doctorate and going through that whole process, my whole doctoral dissertation was on revival. Mm-hmm. And so for me, it's getting to where hurting people are, getting to where people are that maybe just need renewed. Maybe there's nothing big going on and they come to a service and nothing spectacular happens within them, but they just feel renewed.
Exactly. And, I've always said this too. It doesn't matter if you have a $10 million budget for every one of your events. It doesn't matter if you have a $15 budget. Go to where the people need you.
Yes. Yeah. And what was cool when we were in Hillsborough in Montgomery County, we were on the square, we were in the plaza, and there were 3 bars within earshot. And so we just turned on the sound system. We had worship, I preached, and 2 ladies came out of a bar to hear the gospel. And so my heart is just to get to where people are. Yeah. And even if they're not technically in the service, like we saw people driving around the square with their windows down just hearing. And so some people still are a little hesitant to want to come, but we know the sound waves are going out and people can still hear.
I just love this. And let's go through. We've already been talking for 28 minutes. I'm sorry about that. So well, let's talk about upcoming dates. I just flashed them on the screen again, but we'll go through them again. So Sunday, July the 14th is the next upcoming opportunity. And this is at the Greene County Courthouse, 519 Marion Street, right on Carrollton Square. It's a beautiful spot. And then as you guys see here on the Ablaze.global website, Jerseyville and Grafton, you're on tap.
They are. And we're very excited about we didn't realize we were going to go to Grafton and that door opened. And so we're going to be right where the lift is for the to go up to the winery.
Yeah.
We're going to be right on the road. And we're very excited. We're excited about being in Edwardsville at the City Park Bandstand.
That's a beautiful spot they got.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
And then in Wilson Park for Granite City at the Centennial Pavilion.
And that's on August the 3rd if you're in Granite City. And if you're in Edwardsville, that's on August the 2nd. So July 26th, Jerseyville. July 27th, Grafton. August the 2nd at 6:30 p.m. in Edwardsville. And then August the 3rd in Granite. And that means the tour wraps up with the big venue, the Alton Amphitheater.
Yes, and we're just excited. So if you're listening and you're a local pastor or you go to a local church and you want your church to get involved, they can reach out to me at Kristi at Ablaze.global. And I would love to see a whole line of pastors at Ablaze to pray for people. We're also going to have a baptismal at the Alton service. We don't have them at all of them, but we will at the Alton service. So if you've never been baptized in water and you want to, come. We'll be doing that. But if you attend a local church, I would encourage you to invite your pastor to baptize you, because I think it's important for those that you walk through life with, be the ones who baptize you and not us. Again, it's not about us. And so if you've never been baptized in water and you want to be, invite your pastor to come baptize you.
I love this. I just love the fact that you're putting God first, because so many times when we talk about these type of ministries and all these events, there is some folks that kind of make it about themselves and don't put the real message out there. And the fact that all across the board, Kristi, you're bringing in local pastors, you want folks to go to their local churches, you want people to be connected with their local community. And it's Ablaze is a great starting point to grab everybody and bring them together. And that's what I think you guys are doing so well at. You're staying to that mission. And I love it. I'm a big fan. And now going forward, are you doing 12 next year?
CJ, let's get through this summer because we've learned so much.
Have you really?
This is the first summer. I've done like transformed services in churches. Like we've gone from church to church. This is the first time we've done outside. I've been invited, like I preach internationally also. I've been invited to go to India to do something like this, but we're getting through August 4th.
Good answer.
And then we will see what the Lord has in store. But I love knowing that sometimes we're just the spark.
Yeah.
We're just the spark. And what the Lord does after that, praise the Lord.
Well, and I can only imagine, Kristi, in a year, maybe even 2 years, maybe even 3 years, somebody walking up to you, whether it's at the grocery store or whether it's them calling you and saying, you have no idea that day in August really changed my life. And that, to me, is more valuable than any price point you can slap on anything.
Absolutely. And the reason we want local pastors there is because if they don't know Jesus and they come that night and give their heart to Jesus, we want them in a local church so that they can grow in that relationship. Yeah. We don't just want a number. Oh, somebody gave their heart. That's a check for us for a salvation. We're not even keeping count of anything. That has been my heart.
I love it.
I mean, we've done a service with as little as 25 people in Hillsborough.
Yeah.
So for me, it's not the numbers. It's have I been obedient and is the presence of the Lord felt? That is success to me.
I love it.
Am I obedient and have people felt the presence of the Lord no matter how many people are there? But we do want them connected in a local church because when we leave, we want them walking in a community of believers, growing in their faith.
Well, and especially right now, because before I let you go, that's a huge thing, because you aren't going to grow if you're in an environment that doesn't allow you to. And if you're in an environment and I hate to say it, but maybe your best friends or maybe the comrades you have and all the bar mates or whoever you go hang out with, if they're keeping you shielded from it and kind of holding you back, you might need that community to kind of keep you on the right avenue going forward with your relationship. And I love that. I mean, I really do.
Yes, and people need to recognize that churches, I often hear, well, churches are full of hypocrites. Absolutely, we are all.
Yeah, totally.
Because nobody is perfect, and we have weaknesses, and we all need, life is hard. And just because we may believe in Jesus, that doesn't mean life is going to be easy. Actually, sometimes it can mean it's going to be a little bit harder.
Yes.
However, so we need a body of people that we can do life with and walk with. And so that is my heart. I still believe, and I will always believe, that the local church is the answer. I'm just kind of coming along with the spark. And because that's, we're all part of one body. And my role in the body is not as local pastor. My body is as an evangelist, as a revivalist, is to kind of bring the fire and the spark that gets things going. And so I'm just going to do my part and be me and allow others to step up and encourage others to step up into their role, into their part. And so that's the beauty of us coming together as the body of believers.
I just love this. And now, how can folks reach out? How can they stay connected and stay up to date on when events are happening, or just reach out to you because they want to connect their church with Ablaze and all of the great work you're doing?
They can go to ablaze.global and find out more information. If they want their church to get involved, because there are way too many pastors in Alton, Edwardsville, Granite City, for us to connect with all of them.
Right.
But we would love for them to be there. So if you want your church involved, you can reach out to me at Kristi at Ablaze.global. If they want more information, they can just go to info@ablaze.global.
I love it. I'm a huge fan of this. Dr. Kristi Lemley, thank you so much for stopping by and just hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it, and I hope that the summer wraps up on a very good note and you get some much-needed rest afterwards.
Yes, I'm planning on taking a couple of days off, or at least that week off afterward. But thank you, CJ, for the invitation to be here. It has just been such a joy and a pleasure to be with you.
Well, we'll link everything on the RiverBender.com article, and we'll make sure that you all stay up to date. You can also check out the community calendar to see when Ablaze is coming closer to you. If you're in Granite, Edwardsville, or in Alton, you got a couple of weeks. But up next is Greene County at the Carrollton Courthouse, or the Greene County Courthouse in Carrollton Square, followed by Jerseyville and Grafton in a weekend. Then you're keeping on moving, and I'm a big fan. Seriously. 9:44, a little bit of change on this Friday morning. We'll take a quick break, and we're going to come back. I talked to Jackie Spiker this week, and I didn't realize really the wonderful work that Hope Rescue does, and don't give me the little dunce hat on my head. I get it. They've been around for quite some time, but we had a really empowering conversation about just taking care of our furry friends, but also ways that you could win $15,000 while helping Hope Rescue. So let's take a quick break. We'll come back with this one and have some more fun on a Friday.